Hey everybody, I'm Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations, and in this video I want to show y'all some different, like the core technique on how to make these different styles of earrings. Now you can see here they're all using basically the same components, but I'm going to show you how to achieve that. So let's get started. Okay, so the different tools and materials that we'll be using, and all of these will be listed down in the video description below, are round nose and flat nose pliers, as well as flush cutters or wire snips. Here I have two each of a 10mm, 8mm, 6mm, and 4mm beads, and these are in opalite, which is like a man-made glass, but it's like, I mean, you could use whatever gemstone kind that you want. I also have some little bead caps that are just 4mm wide, like super simplistic filigree style bead cap. I'm some 20 gauge surgical steel. It's a 301 alloy surgical steel ear wire, and then these nice little like super dainty filigree that are actually like crazy easy to bend. Then we also have some 20 gauge steel head pins, and what a head pin is you can see it kind of has this nail head here at the top, and that will keep the beads from slipping off the end. We'll only need 2 of those, but I've got a whole pack here. And then also a knitting needle. I'm particularly fond of using my size 10. Well, it's a 10mm, it's a size 15. Plastic knitting needle, because I really like the taper that it has, but you could use, I mean, feel free to experiment with different things. Now I also want to show you, using these same sets of tools and materials, you could do real simple, like here we just have a 10mm bead, and you can see the bead cap kind of keeps the head pin from sliding up into the larger hole of the 10mm bead. So I think that's a nice, simple, very lightweight for being as large as it is, earring. And then here we have that same concept, but done with just multiple beads threaded up all the way through, for if you like something with a little bit more weight and substance to it. Then here we have, I made a much larger bell, so it shows off more of the leaf down at the tip. And then here I have one that was made with, instead of a round bead, it was made with a teardrop, and I gave it a very wide bell, only pinching up at the top to keep the bead from flopping around, and I gave it a little bit more texture there on the sides. So again, I encourage you very strongly to experiment and find what you like the most. And I'm going to start with making sure that my leaves are mirror image of each other. I'm actually going to zoom in just a hair. There we go. So you can see here, I'm going to focus on the tips of the leaves. If they were positioned like this, they're symmetrical. But they, or, you know, it's, you know, they're the same, but they're not mirror imaged. I like that mirror imagery because it's like our face, you know, our eyes are shaped like this, not like this, typically. So, so with the leaves, I want it to look like, again, nice and mirror imaged. And it's not vital to completing the piece, but the magic happens in the details. So your small attention to these details is going to make all the difference, I think. So I'm going to take the tip of my knitting needle, and I'm going to press it along this center vein of the leaf, and I have it right below the hole there that normally, if you just wanted to attach this to, you know, you could take these completely flat and just attach them directly to an ear wire, and boom, you've got some earrings. Boom. But I want us to get a little beyond, it's still a beginner project, but it's not that much of a beginner project. And so I'm kind of squeezing this around one side of the knitting needle, and I'm starting on one side and then laying the other side down. And I'm going to take this, and I'm actually going to roll it on the table. And what this is accomplishing is it's really rounding out that shape onto our mandrel. just like that. And so now whenever I go in to do it on the other side, I folded the side towards me in first on this one. So now on this one, I'm going to fold the side away from me in first. Again, trying real hard to keep everything nice and straight and gradual. Go slow, be patient with yourself and with the project. So I'm going to take this and just kind of roll it down. Choo choo. Sorry, we got some train tracks going here out by our house. And I'm going to straighten this end up a little bit because I want it to stay nice and like straight, you know. So we have it like that. Again, it has that mirror imagedness of the folds being that way. Super cool. Okay, next step is we're going to take, and we can go ahead and set our knitting needles aside. I'm going to take a head pin, just like this, and I'm going to thread on one of these bead caps, just like that. And I'm going to thread on my 10mm bead. And I think it just gives it a really nice little finished end, but it's just enough that let's do the other 10mm without the head pin. And sometimes, like, I mean, this still fits, but on some stones, sometimes the nail head of the head pin will actually slip, like, to inside the stone, because you can kind of see, especially on these translucent ones, how it wasn't like perfectly cut all the way through. So sometimes this would have slid up to almost the halfway point in the stone. And so I just prefer to put a little, just a little something there on the end. Again, those magical little details. Okay, so we have our 10mm strung on. Hello, neighbor's rooster. We have an 8mm strung on, a 6mm, and a 4mm. Now it's really important also to, sorry, just a sec. Excuse me. Sorry. It's really important to make sure that your beads fit onto your wire, kind of at the beginning of a project, because you can get thinner head pins. I just try to always go with something as thick as I can, because I feel like it makes it a sturdier piece. So now we're going to use our flat nose pliers, and I'm going to grip the wire just about 4mm almost away from our last bead, and just folding a nice 90-degree bend. And now I'm going to use my round nose pliers to grip right by that bend, just like that. And I'm going to push, gripping quite firmly, push this wire up and around on the nose of the pliers, then reposition and bend it around like that. And you can take it, you can see here that's not really like a perfect circle, like, at all. But you can take it and grip it and kind of bend it around just some. I'm going to trade my pliers in hands. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. So I apologize for my neighbor's goofy sounding chicken. Well, I mean, it's a rooster, obviously, but he can't get his crow quite right. So I'm holding with my round nose pliers, and I've actually grabbed a pair of bent nose. You could use your flat nose pliers just to grip and come around, but I do prefer my bent nose because I custom made my own handles for it. And also I love how the shape of the pliers, I feel like, makes it really easy on my hand to just get into the angle that I need to get in. And I'm just spiraling, or coiling rather, all the way down. So you can see now how that came down. So now you would actually have to cut the metal of this to get the loop to come undone. And I like that kind of very secure cold closure. So I'm just going to come in real close with my flush cutters and snip. Nope, didn't quite get it. There it goes, and pinged across the room. So now though, you can see there's this little tail that's poking out. I'm going to use my bent nose pliers to get in there and just smush that right down in line with the other coils. Just as best as you can until there's nothing pokey coming out. There we go. Just like that. And so we would take this and thread it up inside of the loop that the shaped leaf that we've made. And it gives us a little bit of spread, but I think that's okay. Because for the most part, it's still holding together. And you can see it's just sitting like that. Now I'm going to grab 2 super small little jump rings. If I can find them, here they are. I have just a canister of jump rings here. And I'm just going to grab out 2 of them. These are 20 gauge 1/8 inch. No, they might be smaller than that. You could use 20 gauge 1/8 inch though. These are just some jump rings that I happen to have on hand. You can actually make your own on your own round nose pliers. But I'm going to open it, and I'm going to hook through both the loop that we've made as well as the eye for a loop there on the leaf. And I'm going to try to give it as solid of a closure as I can. And again, there will be links for where you can get the materials for all of this stuff down in the video description. And so I like for my earrings to kind of line up. So instead of attaching this one this way, I'd like to attach it this way. So what I want to do is I'm going to grab another ring. And this one is an 18 gauge 1/8 inch. And I'm just going to open it. I'm going to hook through the little loop that we just added. I would have used this size here, but it didn't go through the hole in the leaf. And then I'm going to hook on my ear hook. And then I'm just going to close that ring. And we would do this same exact thing for the other earring. Instead of attaching an ear hook, we could have attached this to a necklace or hair sticks or just, you know, whatever you like. And so that's, I think, a fun little project. Hey y'all, thanks so much for joining me for this video. I hope that it was helpful to you and that you enjoyed learning how to make these pretty simplistic earrings. I absolutely love opalite because it has such a nice way with catching colors and just its own kind of luminescence. But if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, I'd love to hear from you. And then also, this is a project that I'm actually going to put them in real quick. This is a project that if you sign up to become a patron, which again, there'll be links down in the video description below, this would be something that might be included in one of my $10 wire wrapping kits. So, but just to give you an idea, you know, I'd send you like the materials to make this and like some wire wrapped stuff, or maybe this and some chainmail, since it kind of incorporates a lot of jump rings. But I do love a good pair of dangly earrings, and they're not horribly heavy for being quite as large as they are. But yeah, if you would like to support my work, like if you enjoy what we're doing here at Back to Earth Creations, and you would like to support the creation of more free videos like this one, as well as possibly receive the, and I say possibly because it's dependent on how much you pledge a month, but receive monthly craft crates and all sorts of different stuff. Were you just blah-blahing me?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Randy, you're so sassy. If you... I totally lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I'll just start over. If you can get the monthly craft kits and all sorts of stuff you could by signing up to become a patron. There'll be links down in the video description below. Yay for brain farts. But yeah, so I look forward. Also, if you want to share pictures of what you make based off of my tutorials, you can post to Facebook on my Facebook wall, or you can tag me on Instagram. Again, there'll be links down below. So thank you guys so much, and happy crafting. I'll see y'all around. Bye.